Will answer. One of you respond this. So that's the sudah ikut sama. So, we so you pun Izati, okay. Ada masalah we have problem. Okay. But if you
Doctor? Doctor, we can't hear your voice clearly. It's macam tersekat-sekat.
buat clear.
We still can't hear you, Doctor.
Quite clear. That's okay. Give you see you in the kita ada the new list. List, if not wrong, kita ada 45 students lah. Nah, yang ada list kat saya about 45 students. And you guys, you hear me? You guys? Okay, kita ada 45 students. If this remains, because if I'm not wrong, today is the last day of add and drop. Correct or not? Betul tak? Hari ni ada akhir-akhir. Add and drop. Yes or no? Boleh dengar suara saya, kan? Come on, reply. Respond, please. It is true. Betul, Alright. So we hope that by tomorrow kita dapat dah, or this evening kita dapat dah, we will get the final list of the students. Right now we have 45. If this list remain 45, definitely we're going to have 9 group. Okay, 9 group. Each group, as I said, kalau ikut dalam handout, if you follow the handout, maximum 5. So we remain to 5 of the in the group, 5 members. So there going to be 9 groups. There will be 9 groups. This I will liaise with Eugens. Eugens, you hear me? Boleh? Dengar? Eugens, can you hear me?
Dengar, Doktor.
Alright, okay. When I have the final list of the student, I will talk to you, right? We will discuss how to, I will ask you to form a team, a group, and I will let you know how you going to do it, right? Dan memang kita tunggu, kita tunggu, wait until we have the final list, at least at the end of this today, and or tomorrow, at least kita dapat dah. We're going to definitely going to have the final list. Then I will discuss with you again how to form the team, how we do it that, the team. So kita ambil, so we have right now, if we remain, the group list remain 45, meaning that we're going to have 9 groups. And I will let you know how to pick the members of the group. There are some techniques, a simple techniques, in fact. Right, I will give the names to Wiggins, then we will take from that. Okay, you get me?
Yes, Doctor.
All right, okay. So today, for those yang baru join the class, I think we already discussed very much on what you're supposed to do for the whole semester, especially on your handout, handout in the online, in your portals. That is explained quite clear what you're supposed to do for this semester. So I just want to remind you, especially the most important thing is to log for your final, the date of your final, which is on bila? The final date. Amira, Not Amila, bila? Our final exams. Amila, are you there? Not Amelia, are you there? Saya akan panggil tau. Your name ada. Amelia Diana. Are you there? No? Ada. Yang cakap Nurun Natasha. I tanya Nur Amelia. Are you there? Tengok dalam tanda you ada. You just register yourself. Kita apalah. Maybe ada pergi mana-mana sebentar. Norin Khairul, are you there? Norin?
Yes, doctor.
Bila? When is our final exam? Your final exam? We did our final exam.
8 Julai. 8 Julai.
8th of July, right?
Yes.
8th of July. Guys, for those who are newcomer, right? Please lock yourself this date. Date of your final exam. Okay? This time we're going to have final exams. Right? We're going back to the normal practice. Normal practice where we have 60% of coursework and we have 40% of final exam. And this semester you're going to have your final exam. The only we cannot decide yet is whether it will conduct in the in lecture hall in the hall, or we're going to do it online. Right. But definitely there will be a final exam. On the date itself, on the date itself, on the 8th of July, you'll be given the question, then you're going to have to answer that for 3 hours. You're given 3 hours. Right? Macam exam itu like normal exam. Right? So please lock yourself on that date, 8th of July. So that one cannot be negotiated. Because actually it's not me who pick on that date, it's actually the school. So you have to answer to the school. You want to what we call to have another date, you have to discuss with the school. All right. Today kita akan start with our discussion on chapter 1. Okay, especially for the international student, we have student even up to Algiers, if not wrong. Let me check. Abdul Rahman Akal, can you introduce yourself, please? Abdul Rahman? Are you there?
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Okay, can you introduce yourself, where you come from, that kind of thing?
Okay. My name is Akar Abdurrahman. My matric number 274785. I am from Algeria and currently I'm semester 5.
Okay, what program you are in?
BBA.
BBA.
Yes.
All right, good. Right, we are from the same school, same department. All right, guys. Abdul Rahman is another one of our international student, and this side we have last time few from Indonesia, right? Anyone from Indonesia again want to introduce? Siapa-siapa nak introduce? Again? Last time ada dah introduce. Siapa lagi from? Who else from Indonesia that you want to introduce? Come on. Jangan malu-malu. Yutazam Fatah. Where you come from? Mutazam Fatah? Are you there? Mutazam? Mutazam Fatah. Are you there? Are you in the meeting? No? Okay. Agung. Yes, Agung. Again, please, again. Maybe you have a new student. Maybe you want to introduce yourself, Agung?
Yes, my name is Agung Gumlar. I'm from Indonesia, which place is West Borneo, in Pontianak, nearby Sarawak.
Yeah, same island with Sarawak, right?
Yeah, same
Borneo.
island.
It's Borneo.
And-
All right. In fact, we are
And I
close
was
to it.
taking the entrepreneurship program.
Oh, entrepreneur. All right, good. So we are from the same school, SBM. Maybe not the same program, but it's same school. Right. Uh, who else? We have again. I'm not sure. This Multazam Fatah. I believe you are international student. Where are you from? Are you there? Ah, come on, talk, speak, introduce yourself. You're from where? I'm not clear. Again, I'm not clear. You're from? Okay, we have a problem. You have a audio problem. Never mind. Okay, good. All right. Hopefully you can listen. You can hear from. I believe you are in your country, right? Are you in your country now? Again, where is you from? Maybe it's yeah from. Still not clear. Maybe you can write. You can chat. Put a chat. Okay. Where you come from? No, Murtadam, you can, type it through chatting where you come from. Oh, Sabila, okay, from Indonesia, okay. Okay. Murtadam also from Indonesia, right? But yeah, you have a problem with ideal problem, right? And in fact, I believe that the majority of international of this class is from Indonesia, except Abdurrahman only from Algeria, right? Okay, fine. And most of you, I believe, is still in your country, right? Otherwise, you don't have any problem if you are staying in Sinto. Huh? All right. Okay. Now we can start our discussion today. Today, in fact, I already plan to have our discussion in chapter 1, right? For chapter 1. So I'm going to stop this one first. Stop on your attendance and maybe we can start to discuss on our first chapter. Okay, for international student, if you might see me speaking time to time, in Bahasa Malaysia, the kind of thing. But don't worry, yeah, it's just a repetitions, right? It's nothing new. I might speak English, then I will say the free words in Bahasa. That is just a repetition of what we discussed you in English. So that's not a new thing. So you don't worry. If you don't understand, you don't worry what what I'm talking about, especially Abdurrahman. And I think the Indonesian, I think they should not have no problem with you. And Abdurrahman might be a problem because he's a Arabic speaking country. So when I speak in Bahasa, meaning that it's just a repetition what I've been discussed in English. So shouldn't be any problem. Okay, now guys, today we're going to start with chapter 1. Right? Chapter 1 is the principle, right? Just talking about the principle, what is the meaning of ethic, that kind of thing, right? Okay. I said, okay, much earlier, ethic is about the study of morality. That's why I said this subject matter, ethic is something should be close to us, right? It's close to us. It's ours. It's about us. About us, about you, about me. How our action, our behavior will result on the result of what's going to happen when we act on certain thing. Whether your action is ethically right or wrong, right? In your everyday life. Right. Like for example, you cheat your husband, your boyfriend, You cheat your boyfriend. You cheat in exam. This is about you. How you act on that. That is about ethics. eh? So ethics is about morality. Yeah, a study of morality. We're talking about us. Okay, tentang kita, about moral. Even though our focus later on will be very much on the what we call on business, but actually ethic is we can apply everywhere. Again, I said it's in our everyday life. We apply ethic. Okay, it's about morality. Morality, what is the meaning of morality? I think everybody know what and how we define here. The standard that an individual, a standard an individual, you, me, we are an individual, or a group, right? A group maybe we're talking about in refer to the company and organizations, right? There's a group. That's about what is right, what is wrong, right? Where we identify whether our action is right or wrong, good or evil, betul atau salah, jahat atau baik ataupun jahat. Evil is mean jahat. For example, corruption, right? Corruption. It can be done. It can be done by an individual, or it can be done by the company. Or for example, mismanagement, right? A leader. For example, discrimination in the organization, right? For example, what we call cheating during company cheating in their advertisement, for example, right? We're talking about a company, about a group, or we are talking about individual, right? You cheat in exam, right? Cheating exam, it doesn't apply on a group. Usually, it's individual effort, yeah? It's a result of the action of an individual. So, the standard the individual or group has about what is right, what is wrong. We can identify whether your action is morally right or morally wrong. Right. For example, you never cheat in the exam, meaning that you have high moral standard. High moral standard, meaning that you never cheat. Right. But those cheaters in the exam, they are what? What they do is wrong, and we can even consider is evil, very bad. Right. Kecurangan dalam peperiksaan adalah satu perkara yang memang tak bagus. We cannot tolerate. We cannot tolerate this kind of behavior. There is morality. Right. Okay, example, this is actually a case study. You have the book, right? How many of you already have the book? Ramai tak? Have you pinjam ke? You borrow your book? Everyone, I hope they have a book. Beli ke? Right? I don't have. I'm asking you to buy a computer. Like we have a problem, an issue recently. If you are using your computer, your handphone, right? To listen to this what we call to my lecture, it's okay with me. Kan? Tak payah nak viral kata nanti saya tak boleh terima ke, no. Right? But I really do understand that lecture, honestly, right? How frustrated of her, right? To the extent of maybe the action is not right, but I do understand the frustration of that lecturer, that professor, right? Those who are sitting on our chair, then they are no better, right? All right, tak apa, itu kita put aside. So here is example. We have got reached A7D fraud. There is case study in the book, chapter 1, talking about issue of frauds, penipuan, dalam issue case study of Boeing airplane, right? You can refer to that case study. Okay, now since we define that ethics is about morality, now we must understand what is mean moral. Actually, morality, there are two types of morality. One we call moral standard, another one we call it non-moral standard. Okay, moral standard and non-moral standard. Ethics is study of moral, morality, and this morality can be divided into two kind, not two part. It can divide two kind of morality. One we call it moral standard. Another one we call non-moral standard. What is the meaning moral standard? It's norm, okay? Norm about the kind of action that are morally right and wrong, as well the values placed on what is morally good or bad. That's why I say very much ethic itself is about values, and about values, a set of values that you have, that I have, a set of values that we subscribe. Kan? Nanti kita belajar where you get these values. Kan? There are process of where we, develop our value system. Each of us, by now, we already have a value system. That's why I said, yeah, if you, for those who have taken this OB before, I think you should know from definitely those from BBA, you cannot deny that you already done this before. You have gone through this before in OB subject, correct? Not Abdul Rahman. You are from BBA. Definitely, you have taken this subject, OB subject, before you come to this stage on this subject. That's why those who are taking OB very much, I think it's very much you're very comfortable with this subject matter, with this topic, okay, on ethics, because we already talked about that, right? Tentang values, talking about attitude, where attitude come from the values, right? Where you identify what kind of action is right, what is wrong. You already have that values with you. For example, values of responsible guys, right? Honesty, that is values. Itu ada semua nilai-nilai. Jujur, bertanggungjawab, itu nilai. Where we get that values is we get that values seen your early days. Masa you kids lagi, nanti kita belajar to that point. When you start to acquire your values and how you put that values into a set of value into a system. Kita sampai to this, wrong in chapter 3 or chapter 2, right? Sabar. So there is moral standard. And what is non-moral standard? The standard by which we judge what is good or bad similarly and right or wrong in a non-moral way. Ini nanti you akan be confused. What is a moral way? What is a non-moral way? The moral standard is where we judge that in a moral standard or moral way. But non-moral standard, we judge in non-moral way. But first, we look into slide number 4. What is the mean of moral standard? How you want to separate? How do you want to differentiate whether that action is fall under moral standard or non-moral standard? So here we look first on the characteristic what we call moral in moral standard. Kita tengok nilai-nilai apa, ciri-ciri yang ada dalam moral standard. Only then you can differentiate whether your action is fall under the moral standard or it fall under non-moral standard. Your action, okay, kita kata your action is unethical. Kita kata, okay, unethical action. You buat satu benda, we describe, we know, we realize that your action is unethical. Okay? But your action just now unethical, but it might fall under within these two. Right? Whether it fall under the moral standard or non-moral standard. Kita identify, we already identified. Your action is unethical, for example, unethical or ethical. Tapi selalunya kita tengok usually want to look on unethical lah. That one very much easier, right? So Asia, for example, you and an officer, you take bribe. You are corrupt officer. And we already identified you're taking bribe. But we want to ask, we question your action is okay, unethical, morally wrong, but it falls under which category, which type of morality? Is it moral standard or non-moral standard? As I said, we have to look into that, right? So now we look first on what is the meaning of moral standard. So there are 5 characteristics that we can refer to, whether your action of corruption just now, whether it fall on this or another way, or it fall under non-moral standard. Okay, the first one is said here, involve significant injury or benefit. Right, injury. They use the word injuries, meaning the injury is not refer to physical injuries. Right. Here refer to the harm that you cause. You cause to you to another party. You cause to the society, for example. You cause to your company. You cause your action cause to your institutions. Right. So we measure on that whether what you have done, the injury is seriously enough or significantly enough, or what you have done is you give benefit, a significant benefit to your organization. For example, if someone, what we call going to corrupt you, right? Offer you, then you said no, I reject that one. You reject that offer, meaning that you are doing very good. More on morality, you are ethical right, right? We're talking about ethical, you're doing what you are doing of not accepting that bribe is ethical right. You're doing a good thing, right? So we want to look against doing a good thing, study how much it is significant or not to you or to your society, to your organization. So we can differentiate from taking from this character, we can differentiate later on whether your action is under this moral standard or non-moral standard. Okay, we look into the second one. They say here, not established by authority figures. Okay, that's why ethics is sometimes it's not defined by law, and it's not defined by law. It's not everything have been described by law. Even though ada macam, for example, taking what we call corruption, for example, that is defined by, it can be defined by law, but certain action it doesn't define by law, right? So we can conclude that it's not established by authority figure. There's no one to tell you what you did is wrong, right? There are certain things that you do is no one will answer on your action. It is you. Kita yang tahu yang kita buat tadi, again, whether it's ethical right or ethical wrong. The third one is here, should be preferred to other value. Okay, should be preferred to other value, including self-interest. Right? When talking about ethical, sometimes we want to refer to other values. Right? For example, as I said, you can make a comparison between this kind of values or with other kind of values. Okay. Number 4, based on impartial consideration, meaning that no side, you're not going to side. There's no other party that you side with other party or what. You do your decision based on yourself itself. And tak berpihak lah. In bahasa, you say tak berpihak. Bukan you buat decision, your action tadi, and you buat a judgment, and you made a judgment on your action because of somebody else. No. It's because you define that. Okay. Impartial. And the last one, associated with special emotion and vocabulary. Okay. Definitely, ethical, when talking about ethical issue, right, it must very much, it will involve emotion. And vocabulary meaning thoughts and words. Vocabulary meaning words. So, selalunya dia ada involve, it involves kind of emotion. For example, you steal and you cheat, right? You discriminate people, right? You lie. Is that all action actually involve your emotion. Okay, it comes together with emotion, and it can come together also with words. Right, vocabulary is talking about words. So you see, this is the characteristic of moral standard. So kita dah ambil, I'll give you one example just now, corruption, for example, right? Okay, looking on, taking that corruption as an example, where you want to put that action, corruption? You want to put it under moral standard or non-moral standard? Any one of you want to answer for this question? Dia dalam standard mana? They fall on which standard? Moral standard or non-moral? Corruption. You kerja, you ambil, yes? Or your colleagues, taking bribe, for example. You want to, you want to judge his action or her action on moral standard or non-moral standard? Guys, any one of you? Don't chat tau, jangan chat. I chat saya tak nampak tau. Let's see, ada kawan-kawan kita masih duduk menunggu. Miss Lini, okay, what do you think? What you think of my question? Taking bribe, is it? You put it under the action of taking bribe, you put it under what so-called moral standard or non-moral standard? I hope it's come from the voice.
Non-moral, doctor.
Non-moral. Oh, so
Yeah.
basically it's non-moral. What about the rest? Guilt. On guilt. I see your
Yes,
name just now.
doctor. Yes, I am.
Yeah. What is your answer? Is it moral standard or non-moral? For example, the bribe just now. For example, taking an example of the bribe. Taking bribe. Is it moral standard or non-moral standard?
In my opinion, it's definitely non-moral.
Non-moral.
Yeah.
Okay. When you said okay, if anyone else that you have different ideas on this, what we call the issue of taking bribe, maybe different from the other two just now. Siapa agak it fall under this moral standard? Anyone to respond to this? Abdul Rahman. How about your answer? What do you think? Taking bribe, taking bribe, right? Corruption.
Yes.
You identified that action is under the moral standard or non-moral standard?
Me under first and
Naim non-moral standard. I can see from that. I'm asking Abdul Rahman, just what do you think? What the answer should be?
send.
Oh, we still have problem with audio. I cannot hear clearly. Okay, tak apalah. Never mind. Alright. So why you said it's non-moral, where it obviously is a moral standard, right? Obviously the answer should be moral standard. You stick on the number one. Don't look on the other. The simple thing we want to identify whether the action is moral standard or non-moral standard, we look on the first character, where here is it involve significant injuries. I use the word, to make it much easier, harm. Right? Sometimes you're afraid that you think the injury refer to something physical. Right? But you use the word harm, meaning that taking bribe, it doesn't involve significant injury. If you think that it doesn't, if taking bribe is not significant, it don't involve significant injuries, it betul ke? Ambil rasuah, it doesn't cause any injury. Here, injury bukan refer to injury to the society, injury to your company. For example, you are from one agency, for example, you are corrupt guys, right? Don't tell me that you are corrupt guys, right? You fall under non-moral standard. You should fall under the moral standard. You are unmoral person, immoral person. Person we have no moral. When you describe that person who take bribe is non-moral person, definitely, he fall under or she fall under a moral standard. A moral standard. Meaning that she or he have an issue of moral. She or he have an issue of morality. Clearly, right? You understand or not? When we say moral, so the easy way is the thing is to make to know, right? To take on the first character senang. Kalau kita nak tahu sama ada your action is ethical right or ethical wrong, we already identified is ethical wrong, but we want to know the next one. The ethical wrong is it involve moral or not? This is what it means. It involve moral or not? Kalau dia involve moral, that significantly involve the injury or morality, moral tadi, it should fall under the moral standard. Tapi kalau your action, you know, is unethical, but it doesn't involve very much on the issue of morality. Meaning that the injury is so small. The harm you cause from your action is small, even though it's unethical. Walaupun tidak beretika sampai melibatkan moral. It's not an issue of moral. So kita letakkan dia right? Significant injury. The harm tadi kata taking corruption, you take pride. Definitely, right? That is involve significant injury. And significant injury is not benefit injury. To whom? To your organization. And in fact, to you. It cause injury to you and your organization. Sebab tu orang kata, okay. And definitely it involve your moral. Melibatkan you punya morality, standard you. That's why the people who have, who taking pride, they have no moral. They are no moral, right? Because we see that taking pride is the severe, the injury is huge, besar, banyak yang dia libatkan, yang melibatkan those people who take pride. So kita letakkan dalam isu dia ni, isu tadi, isu taking pride ni dalam konteks isu moral. So, moral standard lah. Clear or not? I hope I have a response on this.
Clear, Doctor.
Clear, clear. Alright. Mr. Lini, clear lah? Mr. Lini, are you clear?
Yes, Doctor.
Alright, okay. Bukan kita tengok, okay, apa you tengok tadi, saya faham. You thought non-moral standard because you got non-moral standard tu tak betul lah. Tapi no. Non-moral standard tu yang kita kata is dia punya injury tu sikit saja. Kan? The harm that it caused from your action tadi not very much involved on issue of moral. Kan? Issue of moral. Kalau you buat benda tu orang tak kata you ni tak bermoral lah. You don't get that kind of what we call judgment. Because what you did just now, even though it's unethical, tetapi the injury that you buat tadi adalah kecil saja. The harm that you caused, that will result of small injury or small harm. And okay, give me one example. Just now kita tengok lah kan, taking bribe, you rob people, you cheat people during the exchange of goods dalam business, for example. Your iklan, your advertisement is not true. You reflect on the reality of the goods. is involve moral. So we take that the action that we put it under moral standard because we can question the morality of the person. We can question the morality standard of that organization who did that. The company kalau buat tadi, kita question. Kalau company ni known as cheater punya company, selalu tipu, kan? A lot of frauds. So kita letakkan ada issue on moral. Tetapi ada semua matters, right, that kita buat, even though is unethical, maybe, but it doesn't fall under this standard. So it fall under non-moral standard lah. And under the non-moral standard, it fall under this. Okay. So give me one example. Siapa yang nak tolong? Siapa nak tolong saya? Help me to give one example that the action, even though is unethical, but it fall under the category of non-moral standard. Non-moral standard, the standard by which we just what is good or bad, okay tak okay, able or tak able, in a non-moral ways. Non-moral ways maksudnya kita tak melibatkan isu moral. The action can be unethical, tetapi kita kata, okay, the injury is not serious enough. The harm that caused by the action is not serious enough, not significant enough. So I consider that is a non-moral standard, non-issue of morality. Mana kita tak boleh katalah dia buat tadi, oh, you are yang tak ada moral. You are not, you don't have any moral. Kita tak boleh katalah because the action taken tadi sikit saja. Walaupun ada issue of unethical. Tetapi harm dia tadi sikit sangat. So we don't put that action under this standard, moral standard. Can you give one example? Your action tadi fall under this category, non-moral standard. So bila you buat judgment non-moral way lah. Non-moral way maknanya the seriousness tak ada lah you buat. Kan? Apa dia? Give me one example.
Doctor, how
Yes.
how if I change my hair color?
Salsabila. No. Kita ada problem sikit dengan audio ni. Okey, tak apa. Boleh sekali lagi?
Saya tengah COVID.
You kena apa?
Tengah COVID. Suara tak berapa okey.
Kena COVID. Siapa kena COVID? You?
Yeah. Okay, saya type. How if I change my color? Is it non-moral standard, right?
Are you alone here? Where are
No.
you now?
UUM.
Oh, you ada di UM. Sekarang ni you dalam quarantine lah. But I think if you are not feel good enough, you not feel very well, you can skip the class. You have,
I type, doctor.
oh, you type. You are you okay?
Okay.
Okay, alright, okay. Meaning that you don't have serious symptoms, lah, right? When you get this COVID?
28.
How many days yet? How many days more you have to go through with your quarantines? Berapa hari lagi? Siapa tadi just put a words tadi, I tak ada sempat. Cepat sangat. You're talking about hair, what is that? Okay, guys, tak apa. My question is, any one of you can give me one example that kita boleh letakkan, we can put that action as a non-moral standard. Kita dah define tadi, non-moral standard where your action is, even though is unethical, but is the injury that it caused by from your action is not significant. In other words, injury tadi sikit. The harm you done is not significant. And the harm that caused, the outcome from your action is not significant. Give me one example.
Texting while driving, sir.
Sure, Rafi, okay?
Texting while driving.
Driving.
Texting while driving. Chat semasa mandu.
Oh, you're speaking while memandu. Alright. Okay. You don't use free hands punya ni lah. Speaker
Yes.
kan?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You know that is wrong, right?
Yes.
So you consider that your action is the injury is not that great, right? So you know the unethical, correct or not?
Yes.
Right. Your action is clear, is unethical. So you did that because you think that the harm that you cause, right, from your action, unethical action tadi, not significant, tak besar, kan? And you define that your action tadi, right, is not that harmful, meaning that is so you put that is non-moral standards lah. How about the rest? Do you agree what his is dia punya reason?
Doctor,
Definitely, right? The action unethical. Yeah. Apa? You can.
I think I agree with the statement because as per our law, using handphone while driving is actually an offense. So it doesn't. I mean, I think offense that it is stated in the law, we should not consider that or include in the ethics and morality.
No, actually,
That's my
what the action actually is, it involves ethics, right? As I said, when we define ethics, right, it can be some gray area. Sometimes it's not, it's covered by the law. But here is the action by this guy driving, what talking by driving, right, is an offense according to the law. But it's yet at the same time, on the behavior is we can describe also this unethical. You see, it can come together, right? You must understand that, like corruptions lah. Corruption we tahu, kita kata tadi we clear is unethical, right? But it also covered by the law. It's an offense, right? Illegal. You take the bribe. Similarly, we can apply here in this case, driving, right? Talking while you're driving, right? Using your handphone is illegal and an offense and is unethical. The question is just now our friend asked, answer is that what he understand that there is not a serious enough, not a serious offense. Right? We're talking about ethic. It shouldn't be on on the moral issue. It just should be under the non-moral standard. So go back to that. Maybe it's yes or no. Tapi my answer is clearly is wrong. It's a moral standard. Right? It's a moral standard. Siapa tanya tadi? Sorry. Who asked this question? Who answer this question? Give the answer just now. Siapa tadi? Sorry, guys. Again. Please respond. Saya miss tadi. Siapa yang jawab soalan tadi? Oh, maybe we have problem. Chat left the meeting. Ada yang left the meeting adalah. Maybe kita ada problem, voice problem. Boleh dengar suara saya tak? Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Boleh, Doctor.
Boleh ya?
Boleh, Doctor.
It's
Boleh.
not ni ya. Okay, tak apa. Come back to just now, the question of driving while speaking while driving, right? Okay, on legal perspective, right? And legal context, yes, there is illegal in the offense. Kita boleh kata offense. And on ethical perspective, yes, it's clearly unethical. Cuma sekarang ni, we want to decide whether it fall under the moral standard or non-moral standard. Our friends say that it's non-moral standard. It should fall under non-moral because you think it's not, the injury is not that huge, not that significant, or the harm is not that significant. But for me, when we have a law, right, it definitely, there is already an injury is already significant. Bila kita ada undang-undang, because from your action, right, it might cause an accident, for example. We know, right? When you can cause an accident, it can hurt somebody else, right? So your action is actually under a moral standard. And the injury that you cause of you while you're driving or you're speaking while driving is, we can consider that is a significant injury. what you have done. So for me, that should be under moral standard. Should be under moral standard. So we can question on his moral standards. Kan? Dan orang yang tak bermorals lah that usually go against the undang-undang, peraturan. Kan? So this is the thing that you have to careful. Right? Even though you nampak, when you define it, you describe your action, tadi you kata it's not, the harm is maybe less, tak significant, tetapi if you look on overall, go deeper than that, right? Maybe it will give you a different answer. Right? Maybe it will give a different answer. Okay, clear tak tadi? Clear lah? Siapa yang tanya soalan tadi? Yang jawab tadi? I will say that is an moral standard, not a moral standard. Okay, siapa nak cuba lagi on non-moral standard? One example.
Doctor, I want to try. Can you hear me clearly?
Salsabila, you.
Yeah, can
Alright.
you hear me clearly?
Again? Tak boleh.
Can you hear me clearly?
Saya boleh dengar, tapi tak
Okay.
clear. Okay, tak apa. Yes.
Okay.
And,
Non-moral standard, if I said is fashion standard, for example, for example, someone use short pants. Is it non-moral standard, right?
someone use what?
Short pants.
What? Short pen?
Seluar pendek.
Oh, betul pendek. Okay. Someone use a short pen. All right.
Yeah.
That is your answer. Right? That can fall under. You think that should be fall under non-moral standard, right? Correct not? Betul kan? That you think that pakai itu dia should non-moral standard. I think that is hard to answer on that question, right? Wearing short, especially for ladies lah. For men, it's nothing wrong with that, right? For ladies, dia ada. The answer is depends on the trend, the fashion. If everybody the society accept that that is just a fashion of wearing short, that it doesn't fall. That's true. It should fall under the what we call non-moral standard and wearing short. I refer to the ladies especially, right? But go back to the on the sensitivity of according to the religion, for example, on the culture, right? So it can be both way. Maybe wearing short in certain occasion might be accepted, but not on what we want, for example, on formal dressing, for example, you wear short, people don't accept, the society won't accept, for example. That is very more on culture, right? And that your action of wearing short, it can fall either way. It can fall under the moral standard, it can fall under the non-moral standard, right? It's some gray area on that, and I think very much depend on the culture, on the society itself, and that will answer your question. Some society will accept that people, especially girls, to wear short, but I think most society would accept wearing short in a formal situation, right? Formal occasion. So you have to be careful on that. Okay. But okay, I give you one example. Okay, tak apa. Very good. Everybody give a try. All right. Ada yang quite clear, ada yang some gray area. We have to look into that. Lying. Okay. Membohong, lying, in bahasa berbohong, lying. Can you hear me? Boleh dengar tak? For example, you lie to your girlfriend, you lie to your boyfriend, right? You lie to your lecturer, you lie to your parents, for example. What do you think of that action? Is it lying is moral standard or non-moral standard? Guys, what do you think? Berbohong. Moral standard or non-moral standard? It fall under what? Berbohong. What do you think? somebody left the meeting, leaving the meeting. I don't know why, for what reason. But
I think
okay, Naim
moral,
kata non-moral.
moral,
Nurul kata non-moral.
moral standard,
Anis, ya? Agung,
moral.
moral lah.
Yes,
Agung, you
moral.
say moral standard, right?
Yes.
Correct me? Okay.
Yes. Because it's
Ashikin kata
in the
non-moral
moral
standard.
way.
A moral way. It's a moral
Yes.
standard lah. Fall under the moral way. You're looking that lying is the injury cost is high, significant. Right? Agung? Can? That's correct, right? You think that
Yes.
lying is actually the harm you do is significant. Ataupun banyak lah kan? Very high. So that's why you state that lying should fall under the moral standard. And banyak kata saya tengok ni, Shikin kata, Shikin kata moral standard, betul. Okay juga, sama dengan Agung. Ada few yang tadi kata no, it should be in the bawah non-moral standard. So, what do you think? Kalau you yourself, you have a friends of love to lie to you, suka tipu you letakkan your boyfriend selalu mohong you. Your friend always cheat you, always telling lies you. Selalu berbohong dengan you. You nak letak dia ada moral dia teraman macam mana? Low moral or high moral? Sikin kata moral standard lah, okay. For example, your friends, you selalu kadang-kadang you boleh catch him that what he's telling is all lies. Selalu bohong. So you nak letak dia tu the one your friend, the guy that you can be trust or not. Definitely you cannot trust him, right? Because he like to tell lies. So meaning that kita boleh categorize you can categorize your boyfriend is low on moral. Correct not? You kata you ni tak ada standard lah. Kan? Selalu mohong. Correct or not? Betul tak? You selalunya tak kata lah, you tak, dia moral you tak ni, tapi you selalu akan kata, you ni tak ada standard lah. Kan? You tak ada standard. Because you always tell lies. Kan? Ataupun you tak ada disiplin ke, you tak ada ni ke, you adalah suka membohong. So, membohong tadi adalah, I will agree with Agung and Chicken and the rest. So, orang yang suka membohong, people like to lie is the issue dia adalah issue adalah dalam moral standard. Dia ada involve moral, issue of moral. Issue of moral. Definitely dia duduk dalam moral standard. Because the significant dia punya ada action dia tadi, the harm that it might cause by lying tadi significant. Or injury tadi significant. So it should put under that category, moral standard. Tetapi kita juga recognize that sometimes we lies. Correct not? Saya cakap tak ada orang, satu manusia yang tak pernah membohong. Correct not? Syikin bisa bohong tak? Syikin. Sasabila. Okay. Kata white lies. White lies. Okay. Alright. I got it. Sasabila. Alright. Good. Sasabila. Okay. How about white lies? White lies. Kalau cakap white lies, kita bohong kan? I think everyone. Correct not? Semua you tak tahu. You bohong tadi, it fall under what? Correct not? Maybe you bohong tadi, not really bohong dalam kategori of moral standard. I cannot find a person yang tak pernah membohong. Right? And in English, kita panggil white lies. People sometimes cheat, lies. Tetapi dia lies tadi because of certain reason. Dia bukan compulsive punya liars kan. Mana orang yang memang suka bohong tu lain. Dia itu duduk dalam moral standard. Tapi dia sometimes dia paksa, he or she have to lies. We call it white lies. Dalam bahasa kita panggil apa? In bahasa we call it what? Sometimes we lies. We have to lie. Kita panggil apa bahasa? In bahasa. Semua suka bohong. Aduh. Semua suka berbohong, dan kadang-kadang semua bukan suka berbohong, tapi kena bohong. Bahasa apa dia? Tipu sunat. Ini ya. Naim pun kata betul lah, tipu sunat. Walaupun tak ikut ustaz, istilah sunat tu tak betul lah kan. Sunat kan sunat, ini kan from no sunat kan. Lie is liars lah, but saya tak apalah, kita terima bahawa it's equivalent lah. We cheat, we lies because we have to. And in English we call white lies. That's how Sabila said, mentioned just now. We lie because we have to. Sometimes because you lie because you want to, to meet to avoid on certain situation become more what we call became more volatile ke, or more uncomfortable ke, kan? Ataupun you lies because you want to help your friends ke, kan? Katalah you someone coming after your friend, cari orang kawan you after your friend, and of course we heard that going to hurt your friend, and definitely kalau that guy asks you where is your friend, definitely you have to lie, right? You have to lie. Takkan you tahu friend you lari duduk belakang, at the back of the building, you say, oh no, my friend is now at the back of the building, you can go and see him, and definitely you're going to lie. And he just starts his motor ke kereta, you went somewhere, I don't know, that maybe that is lie, but it's a white lie. Itu yang Melayu kata bohong sunat. We have to, right? Kawan tadi orang satu kelas dia bagi example, wife masak tak sedap, husband makan dia kata sedap, and that husband know it is tak sedap, it's not good, right? Doesn't taste good, because of that is lying, right? So the action by this husband telling that the cooks, the food that cooked by their punya wife tadi good, because that is lie. Tapi kita kategorikan white lies, because their intention is to make things harmonious and to make things good of the family, and even though have to lies. Itu kita letakkan non-moral standard. Tak ada isu moral, kan? Tahu kata husband dia tipu all this while, kan? All this while husband kata semua sedap, tapi kawan wife tu kata no, your food is lousy, and she recognize, how come my husband kata semua sedap? And then she know that her husband is lie, is white lie, because of love, kan, sayang isteri, terpaksa to make things harmonious, family kita seronok, and have to lie. Sometimes we have to lie, and that is we can put under the non-moral standard. Okay, alright. I think kita boleh stop di sini. Kita do from chapter. Okay, just remind me that we are in now chapter 4. So wait. Chapter 4, we're done. Chapter 4. Okay. Before we go, kita skip. Kita last chapter. Last slide. Just kita define what is business ethics. Sama ya, cuma what is we have discussed just now. Cuma dalam kita sekarang ni, in our studies, kita nak tengok business ethics dalam konteks business. Business ethics is a specialized study. He said a very specialized focus of moral right and wrong, whether during the activity of business study, what you are doing, or the business are doing is betul atau tidak, right or wrong. That concentrate on moral standard. Sekarang ni kita nak tunjuk, kita tak tengok dah on non-moral standard. We are focused on moral standard. Right? We are focused on moral. The injury that caused by the activity of the business study. It is significant injury or not? Or it give a benefit or not? So this way of knowing this, as I said, out of 5 tadi, the top one, the first one, that must very senang kita boleh apply. As they apply to business, institution, organization, and behavior. And so ini yang kita akan belajar dalam this topic, this subject. Ethics dalam konteks, in the context of business. Even though, as I mentioned earlier, very much ethic, it can, is part of us. We apply on every day. Setiap hari kita apply on kita punya action, because it about behavior, tentang kita punya gelagat, behavior. So definitely, cuma sekarang ni dalam this, our subject is we going to focus on in the context of business. Alright, we done all this today. Kita akan sambung this coming Monday, insyaAllah. So for the Muslim student, okay, saya nak ucapkan selamat berpuasa. Saya Sunday pun, most probably on this Sunday, right? So appreciate, hope all of you, saya agak selamat berpuasa, and this coming day is our holy month. Kita kena go all out lah. In fact, kita kena enjoy. Holy month is the month of kita enjoy in the context of practices, the context practices yang apa yang kita kena buat dalam sebulan ni. Okay guys, selamat menyambut hari puasa, berpuasa. So see you then this coming Monday. Ada bos, bro, ada soalan tak before that? So before that, okay, maybe I stop this one. Saya buka sikit on attendance for those who are not yet register your attendance, you can do it now. Siapa ada soalan juga boleh bertanya sekarang juga. Kalau tak ada apa, there's no question, you can leave. See you then.
Thank you, Doktor. Selamat puasa.
Buku ke? Buku dia ada kat saya ni 7 edition. Dia dia ada bentuk ada pokok sikit lah. Pokok ada pattern dia macam ada daun-daun tu. What you have right now, 8 edition or 7 edition? Seven kan? Boleh? You can use that. Kan? As I said, 7 edition boleh guna, even 6 edition you boleh guna. Nama different. Alright. Okay guys. Okay. Kalau tak ada apa, kita jumpa insyaAllah again. Alright. So kalau tak ada soalan, saya akan end this meeting. See you then.